everyone, welcome to K2N Academy. In this video, our cloud expert will explore the key Azure services that power applications and IT infrastructure for some of the world's largest organizations. She will start with Azure offering for both operational and analytical workload, including services like Azure SQL databases, SQL Managed Instance, SQL Virtual Machines, and much more. You will also learn about open sources databases options such as MySQL, MariaDB, and as well as advanced solutions like Azure Cosmos DB, Azure Synapse Analytics, and the latest Microsoft Fabric platform. And don't miss the end for a surprise in Azure data. So let's get started.
Now, Microsoft Azure is a cloud platform which powers the applications and IT infrastructures for some of the world's largest organizations, we can say. So this will include many services to support the cloud solutions, including the analytical and transactional data workloads. Now, let's see. It is divided into two categories: operational data workloads and analytical data workloads. So we have different services for both the things. So we are discussing about some of the most commonly used cloud services. And as I said, this is only some of the commonly used data services for modern transactional and analytical solutions. But additionally, there are many more. Microsoft provides us with many more different services. So let's see the very first one which we have, that is Azure SQL. Now, what does Azure SQL say? It's a collective name. It's a collective name for the family of relational database-based solution on the Microsoft SQL Server database. When I say it's a collective name, let me divide it. So Azure SQL, under it, we have three things: 1, 2, and 3. First one that we have is SQL database. I'm just writing the short forms, don't get confused. SQL Managed Instance and Azure SQL VM. Now let me show you this thing. What I mean, let me just show you also. Let me open my SQL database. So I am in, Azure portal. This is my Azure portal. So when I say Azure SQL, this is the Azure SQL. We saw this right now. When I click on it, when I click on create over here, I will see all those three options. I can create a SQL database also. I can create SQL managed instance also. Or I can create SQL virtual machines also. So that is the reason I said it's a collective name. Azure SQL is the collective name which we have given for the family of relational database solutions, which is based on the Microsoft SQL Server database engine. In this, the SQL database means it's a fully managed platform as a service that we have. It's a PaaS offering which is hosted in the Azure. That is an SQL database. Then managed instance, this is also a PaaS offering which we have, and it's a hosted instance of the SQL server with some automated maintenance, and it also allows more flexible configuration than the Azure SQL DB. So it has more flexible configuration than the Azure SQL DB, we can say. But this will be having more administrative responsibilities for the owner. Managed instance is going to have more administrative responsibilities for the owner. Then we have the third one, which is the SQL virtual machine, Azure SQL virtual machine. So it's a virtual machine with an installation of the SQL server. It will allow maximum configurability with full management responsibility. Now, this is going to be a infrastructure as a service offering. So Microsoft provides us with these three things: PaaS, SaaS, and IaaS. These are the three offerings which Microsoft provides, which we will discuss somewhere at the other point of time, I feel. So let me talk about the next service which we have, this is the Nextcloud service for the operational data workloads, which is Azure database for open source. Now, this is for the open source relational database systems which we have. So, Azure also includes some services for the popular open source relational database systems. Like we have Azure database for MySQL, we have Azure database for MariaDB, and we have Azure database for the PostgreSQL. Now, when I say MySQL, Azure database for MySQL, it's a simple to use open source database management system, which is commonly used in the Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP stackups, we can say. So this is for LAMP. This word you might have heard many times. LAMP. So this basically stands for Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP stackups. So for that, we have this Azure database for MySQL. So this basically, commonly it is used in these apps, we can say. Then we have Azure database for MariaDB. Now, it's a newer database management system which is created by the original developers of MySQL itself. So the database engine has since been rewritten and it has been optimized to improve the performance, we can say. The MariaDB one, it is created by the original developers of MySQL itself, but this has been rewritten and it has been optimized so that we can improve the performance. So MariaDB offers compatibility with Oracle database also. Oracle database, we all know, it's another popular commercial DBMS which we have. So it offers compatibility with Oracle database as well. Then third one is the PostgreSQL. It's a hybrid relational object database. We call Postgre as a hybrid relational database object. We can store data in relational tables, but a PostgreSQL database also enables us to store custom data types. I can store custom data types with their own non-relational properties in it. That's why we say it's a hybrid relational object database. So you can store the data in relational tables, but it will also enable you to store custom data types with their own non-relational properties. That is the PostgreSQL. Then we have Azure Cosmos DB for working with operational data workloads. Now it's very interesting, Cosmos DB. So this is basically a global scale non-relational database system. You might remember I wrote the word NoSQL in the databases. So if you want to work with the NoSQL database, we have the Cosmos DB which we can use. It supports multiple application programming interfaces. This Cosmos DB uses APIs, which is application programming interfaces. It enables us to store and manage the data as JSON documents. We can store and manage the data in the key value pairs or in column families or in graphs. We can use it. That is what the Cosmos DB provides us with. Then we have Azure Storage with us. Let's understand about Azure Storage. So this is a core Azure service which will enable us to store the data. I can store the data either in block containers. I can store it. Block container means it's scalable, cost-effective storage for the binary files. Or I can store my data in file shares. So this is basically a network file share, like we typically find in the corporate networks. We have a network file share. It's a kind of the same thing, file shares. And we have table storage. So this is basically the key value storage for applications which need to read and write the data values quickly. That's why we have this table storage. Now it says hierarchical namespace for data lake storage. What does that mean is, we can use this Azure storage to host the data lakes also. So blob storage and data lake, these two things you all remember. So blob storage with hierarchical namespace enabled is known as the data lake. So we will see that in the next module. What is the difference between these two things and all we will be discussing further. So this is basically about the Azure storage. Then we have the very new thing that is provided. As I said, it is about the Microsoft Fabric. Now this is very new addition which Microsoft has made, and it's a SaaS product. It's a SaaS product. When I say and why I'm specifying that is, so far what all things we know in Azure, it is mostly either the PaaS or IaaS. SaaS was not there. SaaS is something like a Gmail or I can say something like an Outlook. So this is a very new cloud service which Microsoft has come up with. That is Microsoft Fabric. It is a unified software as a service analytics platform which is based on open and governed lake houses, and it includes many functionalities to support the data ingestion and ETL. It has many functionalities which will support data ingestion and ETL, which will support data lakehouse, data warehouse, data science and ML, real-time analytics, data. So this is about Microsoft Fabric. So Microsoft Fabric is basically a unified software as a service analytics platform which we have. And it has many functionalities, and it is considered as an end-to-end analytics solution. We say Fabric provides us with an end-to-end analytics solution. Why do we say so is, you can see all these are different services, right? Azure Synapse is there, Azure Databricks is there, file storage, we have different. But in Microsoft Fabric, everything is in one single environment itself. You don't have to use multiple different services in that. Everything you will find within that particular Fabric environment itself. That's why we say it's an end-to-end analytics solution. Not my point. I'm not going very deep into it because it's again an entirely different course. So we don't have that much time to cover. So let me tell you next about the Azure Synapse Analytics. And in Azure Synapse Analytics, it's a comprehensive, unified platform as a service solution for data analytics, which provides us with a single interface, we can say, single service interface I'm getting for multiple analytical capabilities. What are those multiple analytical capabilities? I can use pipelines also in Synapse Analytics. I can use Apache Spark also there. I can use SQL also and Data Explorer also. So pipelines, those are the same pipeline concept which is based on the Azure Data Factory. SQL we all know is a database engine, highly scalable database engine, which is optimized for the data warehouse workloads. Then Apache Spark we have, which is an open source distributed data processing system, and it supports multi-programming languages and APIs. So Apache Spark will support multi-programming languages. I can write in multiple programming languages like Scala, Python, SQL, all those things. At one place I can use, that is Apache Spark. And then we have Synapse, Azure Synapse Data Explorer, which is a high-performance data analytics solution that is optimized for the real-time querying of the log and the telemetry data, we can say, where we are using the KQL. So this is all together about the Synapse Analytics. Then we have Databricks also, Azure Databricks. So this is an Azure integrated version of the popular Databricks platform, which will combine the Apache Spark data processing platform with the SQL database semantics. So this is where we can use existing data engineers can actually work with some existing database and Sparks to create some analytical data stores in the database. Those things we can do over here. Mostly we work with the database, and it provides us with an integrated management interface, which will enable us to perform the large scale data analytics. Then we have HT Insight. This is also an Azure service which provides Azure hosted clusters for popular Apache open source big data processing technology. So it provides us with some Azure hosted clusters for these Apache open source big data processing technologies, which includes Apache Spark also, Hadoop also, HBase also, Kafka also, for all. So this is an overview about all the Microsoft cloud services which we have for the data.
Hey there, if you're enjoying this video and would like to go deeper and become an expert and master on data engineering on Microsoft Azure Cloud in order to get a high paying job, then I would like to invite you for a free class that I'm doing where I'm bringing a Microsoft certified trainer and a data expert. We'll be talking everything about Microsoft Azure Cloud, how to learn in this in depth, including everything related to both certification as well as in order to get a high paying job. We'll be talking about 12-week roadmap and all the hands-on labs you should be performing. So if you're interested, check out on k2nacademy.com/Azure Data 02.